Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on AI and look at the one skill that really separates a good result from a great one. And believe it or not, it all comes down to the art of the prompt.
Okay, so you've definitely seen AI do some incredible things, right? I mean, writing complex code, creating mind-bending art. But how does a machine actually go from a blank slate to a masterpiece? Well, it's not magic, it's a conversation. And the quality of that conversation, that's everything.
The secret, it turns out, is something you use every single day: your words. When you carefully craft those words into an instruction for an AI, we call that a prompt. This exact prompt, for example, is what tells an AI to generate that stunning, super specific image. So, to really master this, we first need to understand what's actually happening under the hood when you type your request into that little box. At its most basic, a prompt is just an instruction. It could be a question, a command, or even just the beginning of a sentence. The AI, or large language model, has been trained on just a massive amount of text, so it's built to recognize patterns and predict what the most likely next word should be over and over again, basically weaving an answer together. And the skill of actually designing and tweaking those inputs to guide the AI toward the best possible outcome, well, that is prompt engineering. It's less about talking at an AI and more about having a structured conversation with it. Now, this slide highlights something really important. Prompt engineering is all about probability. Can we write a prompt that's more likely to get us a good response? Absolutely. But can we guarantee a perfect answer every single time? Nope. Think of it like stacking the deck in our favor, not rigging the game. So the big takeaway here is that when you do it right, prompt engineering gives you control. It lets you steer the model, ask for outputs in a specific format or tone, and just generally improve the quality. It's what turns the AI from a clever toy into a powerful, really reliable tool. All right, now that we've got the why, let's get practical and open up the toolkit. These are the core techniques you can start using today to get better results like immediately. Your toolkit can start pretty simple. You can use templates for repetitive stuff like translation, or fill in the blank prompts for quick facts. For more control, instructional prompts are your workhorse. They let you specify tone, length, format, you name it. And maybe the most important one is iterative prompting, where you treat it like a real conversation, refining your request based on what the AI gives you back. Now, to really level up, you can use a technique called few-shot prompting. So instead of just telling the AI what to do, you show it. You give it a couple of examples of the input and exactly what you want the output to look like. The model instantly picks up on the pattern. It's a lot like how we learn, right? Through examples, not just rules. This is an incredibly powerful way to get structured data without writing a single line of code. But what happens when the information you need just isn't in the AI's memory? What about recent events or your company's private data? This is where we get into the next frontier of what AI can do. See, it's really important to remember that a standard LLM is basically a closed book. Its knowledge is frozen at the point its training ended. It can't just browse the web or look up your internal documents. And for a lot of real-world business applications, that's a huge limitation. And that's where this total game changer comes in. It's called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. Think of it as giving the AI a library card, a way to look things up in an external database before it answers your question. This makes sure its response is fresh, relevant, and based on the specific data you provide. And this shows you exactly how it works. When you ask a question, the RAG system first searches a database, say your company's knowledge base, for relevant info. Then it automatically stuffs that info into the prompt behind the scenes and hands the whole thing to the LLM. So now the AI has all the context it needs to give a detailed, accurate, and data-driven answer. And this isn't just some theory. This technology is being used right now. Software like LangChain helps automate the RAG process, databases like Pinecone store all that external data, and tools like Westlaw Precision use it to completely change how legal research gets done. These are the real building blocks for custom AI solutions. So, how is all this stuff actually being used out there in the real world? Because these techniques aren't just for developers. They're already powering tools that are changing entire industries as we speak. You've got legal teams using RAG to find case precedents in seconds. Tech developers using instructional prompts in tools like Microsoft Copilot to generate and debug code way faster. Retailers are powering virtual shopping assistants with iterative prompting to nail your personal style. And in healthcare,
So-called doc bots use RAG to provide medical info that's grounded in the absolute latest research. But look, as these models get exponentially more powerful, the need for precision and control becomes absolutely critical. This is where the engineering part of prompt engineering really comes into play. It's about building technical guardrails right into your prompts to stop the model from going off topic or making stuff up. Consistent training and refining these prompts are what separate a cool demo from a reliable, enterprise-grade tool. At the end of the day, prompt engineering is really about putting the human back in the driver's seat. It proves that the quality of the answer you get depends directly on the quality of the question you ask. The model, it's a powerful engine for sure, but the prompt is the steering wheel, and it's in your hands. So the only question left is, where are you going to ask it to go?